Hola a todos, les doy la bienvenida a este live para continuar la serie con Keshava. Estoy súper contenta de tener la oportunidad de seguir esta serie tan maravillosa de conocimiento de yoga Vedanta que él nos está brindando de una manera tan clara y tan consciente. Entonces, si aún no han visto los videos anteriores, les recomiendo que vayan a verlos porque esto es una serie de videos, es muy importante verlos en orden. Entonces, hoy vamos a seguir con el ciclo de Samsara. Thank you, Keshavaji, for being here one day more with us, helping us to clarify the principles of this reality. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
I will translate happily.
Yeah. So, we were discussing about the cycle of samsara in the last class. So, we will, there's a few more things to discuss in this topic. So, we will continue, then we will go to the next. So, before going to that, so the cycle of samsara, just to summarize. So, the main cause for this cycle of samsara is self-forgetfulness.
Mm-hmm.
The self-forgetfulness leading to other, it's a chain reaction, like, you know. So first you forget myself, then I identify with the body mind, then it leads to karma, etc. etc.
Ok, vamos a hacer va a ser un pequeño resumen de lo que hablamos el último día sobre el ciclo de Samsara. Entonces, lo primero que hay que nombrar es el origen del ciclo en sí de Samsara, la razón de que esto ocurra y la principal razón es que nos olvidamos de quiénes somos. Entonces, al olvidarnos de quiénes somos, comienza la confusión de identificarnos con lo que realmente no somos.
So, this self-forgetfulness, this samsara, keeps us continuously in a loop and there's a suffering. So, this the aim is to end this suffering and discover oneself.
Entonces, este ciclo de samsara nos mantiene en sufrimiento y el objetivo es terminar con ese sufrimiento y terminar con el ciclo de samsara.
So, discovering the self. So, get back to the original self, the reality. So, this is the aim of all the philosophies and all the practices, all what we do. Everything is for that only. Finally, so getting out of this cycle of samsara and get back to the one self, the real self, the true self, the Satchidananda, the blissful self.
El objetivo es descubrirnos a nosotros mismos. Este es el objetivo mismo que tiene cualquier disciplina espiritual, que es descubrirnos a nosotros mismos y volver a ese ser de felicidad, de plenitud que somos realmente.
So we have also discussed, so what happens if I am not able to break this cycle of samsara? So we try and we do all the practices and but still because of this the samsara is not only a problem, you know, it's not only a problem, but it has got impressions, deep-rooted impressions. So because of the ignorance and karma and karmas are leaving the impressions in the mind, and samskaras are you know, deep-rooted impressions are there inside. So because of that, so we are not able to discover the self completely in this life, for example. Then what happens?
Okay, I will translate. Entonces, ¿qué sucede? Nuestro objetivo es romper este ciclo de samsara. Entonces, ¿qué sucede si no podemos romper este ciclo de samsara? Porque el problema no es solamente romper el ciclo, ¿ok? Salir de este ciclo. El problema es que nuestro paso por esta vida, por ese ciclo, nos deja impresiones en la mente, debido al karma, debido a las acciones. Todas estas acciones nos dejan impresiones en la mente y eso es lo que tenemos que trabajar.
So one important thing we have to remember here is, so the original problem is self-forgetfulness. And so knowing oneself is like knowing anything else. So knowing oneself means, so I don't know about something. In the wake of knowledge, I know about this thing. Same thing with reference to the self also, because I have forgotten myself. And the scripture and the masters reveal the nature of the self. Okay, but the problem is not over.
El problema no es solamente olvidarnos de nosotros mismos. Las escrituras y los maestros nos ayudan a recordar quiénes nosotros somos. Pero el problema no es solamente descubrir quiénes somos. El problema va más allá que eso.
So the problem is the self-ignorance caused conditionings are there inside. So there is a parallel reality. There is a parallel reality. You know, the self-ignorance caused conditionings. The impressions are creating a parallel reality. The samskaras are creating a parallel reality. So that reality, that individuality is as real as the original self, the real self. So that is why it's difficult to break this. Because simple ignorance is not a problem. Simple ignorance, you can, by the wake of knowledge, we can remove the ignorance. But then this self-ignorance caused conditionings and parallel reality. That is a big thing.
El problema no es solamente el olvidarnos de quiénes somos. El problema son los condicionamientos. Vamos grabando, vamos creando muchísimos condicionamientos en nosotros mismos que crean una realidad paralela en la que creemos que estamos y la vemos tan real, mucho más real que la única realidad que es quiénes somos, que somos el ser. Esta realidad paralela es mucho más problemática que el hecho de la ignorancia, porque si es solo ignorancia, romper la ignorancia es relativamente fácil, pero romper todos estos condicionamientos y salir de esa realidad paralela, eso es lo más difícil, romper los condicionamientos.
Yeah, this parallel reality, this is conditionings, unconscious conditionings. This parallel reality sometimes is very big, you know. It doesn't go that easily. Sometimes it's difficult to break this. So that is because the knowledge. So we know we can remove the ignorance, but then this parallel reality causes problems sometimes. So it's very huge. It's very very thick. You know, to remove this, you know, we have sadhanas, we have practices. You know, so all this karma yoga and bhakti yoga. You know, all these different types of yogas, different types of practices, they're all preparation, you know. So to remove this parallel reality, you know.
Entonces, para romper la ignorancia es relativamente fácil porque solo da el conocimiento. Pero para romper esta realidad paralela de condicionamientos, para eso es para lo que hacemos la sadhana, karma yoga, bhakti yoga. Todas esas prácticas que hacemos es para romper los condicionamientos, que es lo más difícil de romper.
Yeah. So, in other words, the parallel reality means the ego is so strongly solidified, you know. So, this sense of separation, the sense of separation from the whole and the ego identified individuality is very strong. Very strongly solidified individuality, you know, that individuality. So sometimes it's difficult to break this because it's so strong. Of course, it's made up of false sense of self, but it becomes very strong.
Yes. Y el ego se hace tan fuerte, tan estable, que es muy difícil romperlo. Se hace un sentido de individualidad tan fuerte y de la personalidad tan fuerte que es muy difícil romperlo. Y este es como el challenge más grande que tenemos.
Yeah. So, unless we break this false sense of self, so we will not discover the real self, because we have to transcend this, you know. So, in this context, so for example, a person not able to discover the real self, not able to get enlightenment in this life. So what happens to that person? So then there is inevitably there is a death, you know, death of the body. Then what happens? There is no end of the life, end for this. Then again we have to come back. That's called the rebirth, the reincarnation or rebirth.
Entonces, ¿qué sucede cuando una persona no consigue autorrealizarse en una vida? El cuerpo muere, pero el ser no muere, el alma no muere. Entonces vuelve a la vida a encarnar de nuevo en lo que llamamos reencarnación.
Yeah. So we call it a rebirth, or you can also call it a reincarnation. So now in the person, so at the end of the body, this life, the body falls, and again, depending on the one's own karma and the merit and demerit, good karma, not good karma. So depending on this, so we get a next birth.
Entonces, el cuerpo va a morir y depende del karma que haya acumulado en esta vida, ya sea bueno o malo, depende de eso el siguiente nacimiento, el renacimiento o la reencarnación que vaya a tener.
Yeah. So then again the person takes the next birth and continues the life, continues the spiritual evolution. So in between the person goes through different planes of existence, and there also person gets a lot of insights, lot of spiritual lessons. The person learns a lot of many spiritual lessons, then takes the next birth and continues the journey, the spiritual journey, until reaches the true self. So until one discovers oneself, so this journey will continue.
Entonces, hasta que autodescubramos, nos demos cuenta de que somos el ser, de lo que realmente somos, vamos a estar en este ciclo de morir y encarnar, dependiendo de nuestros karmas, en una vida o en otra, pero de morir y reencarnar hasta que nos autorrealicemos.
Yeah. So, now, what happens if the person discovers oneself in this life? So what happens if a person enlightens, because this reincarnation is only one who is not enlightened yet. But what happens to the person, enlightened person? So this we will discuss now. So what happens to the person, one who is enlightened in this life?
Ok, entonces, ¿qué sucede? Ahora vamos a hablar de qué sucede si la persona se ilumina en esta vida.
Yeah. So, let us say a person lives for, let us say the person is destined, or, let us say, for example, a person lives for 100 years, let us say. And a person, so, through knowledge, so acquires the self-knowledge, gains the self-knowledge, and gets enlightenment. Let us say at the age of 60, for example, I'm just giving an example. It can happen at any time. There is no like that. So I'm just only giving an example. So the person has taken birth, and the person has taken birth, and at the birth, because of his karma and the previous, all samskaras, because of the karma, the person is designed to live for 100 years. So because of the karma. But then, at the age of 60, for example, gets enlightenment. So that doesn't mean that the moment I get the person gets enlightenment, a person is not going to fall dead. So person is continue to live. So that is called what is called Jivan Mukti, living liberated.
What's the name? Jiva or Shiva Mukti?
Jivan Mukti.
Jiva, the Jiva. Yeah.
Jivan Mukti.
Jivan Mukti, ok. Ok, entonces, por ejemplo, ¿qué pasa si una persona, digamos que nace en una vida favorable para la iluminación en esta encarnación, y digamos que se ilumina a los 60 años? ¿Qué sucede? Él no tiene por qué morir en la iluminación, va a seguir la vida y va a vivir una muerte física, pero ya se va a iluminar en esta vida. A los 60 años, pongamos que se ilumina. Eso se llama Jivan Mukti.
Yeah. So it's called living liberated. Living liberated.
Yes,
so,
very nice.
Yeah. So one who is already so taken birth and is living, and at the middle of the birth, so enlightened because of it discovers the self by self knowledge and meditation, discovers the self. Then so the person is called Jivan Mukti. That's called Jivan Mukti, living liberated. So the person may continue to live for a few more years, as long as the body is there. So because the body has already taken birth before the enlightenment, so the person continues to live. But then so already discovers the self through knowledge, through meditation, through all the practices. So, already discovered the self. So for that person, there is no samsara.
Yes.
There is no samsara, that person.
Entonces, cuando una persona se ilumina, por ejemplo, digamos a los 60 años se ilumina, pasa a vivir como un ser iluminado, vivo. Entonces va a vivir mientras el cuerpo dure. Y él ya está fuera del samsara, incluso vivo. En vida se libera del samsara.
Yeah. So the samsara is because of the ignorance, the whole samsara, the main problem is self-ignorance, self-forgetfulness. So the person remembers the self, so to speak. Remembers the self means he owns up. So, wrong identification is gone. Through knowledge, the person discovers the self. Then what happens is the self-knowledge, self-ignorance is gone. And the self-ignorance caused the conditionings, the samsara is gone. So for that person, one who is Jivan Mukta, living liberated, for that person, there is no samsara. Samsara is gone.
Entonces, para la persona que se ilumina en esta vida, que ha hecho las prácticas, que ha hecho meditación, ha hecho yoga, ha hecho toda su sadhana y ha conseguido a través del conocimiento liberarse, ya la ignorancia no está. Ya tiene claridad, ya se iluminó. Entonces se libera del samsara en vida. Vive iluminado.
Yeah. So the body continues to live for some more time. The enlightened for the Jivan Mukta. So living liberated, the physical body continues to live for some more time. The mind will be there, senses will be there, everything will be there. But then, so the whole disposition is different. The whole the whole perspective is different. So, but the person continues to live for as long as the prarabdha, what is called karma, as long as the karma pala is there. So let us say a person is going to live for another 20 years, 20 to 30 years, let us say. 100 years, let us say, for example. So, from 60 years to 100 years, so a person lives as liberated soul. Yeah.
Entonces, si una persona se ilumina, por ejemplo, a los 60 años, va a vivir, imaginemos que vive 100 años, entonces va a vivir esos 40 años como un ser iluminado. El cuerpo físico está ahí, la mente está ahí, los sentidos están ahí, pero él ya no está generando karma, ya está viviendo esos 40 años como un ser iluminado fuera de la rueda de samsara.
Yeah. Then what happens, at one day, even the enlightened person also leaves the body. Even at one day, even an enlightened person has to leave the body. So because the body means is a conditioning, conditioned existence. So what happens, so the body falls, the physical body dies. So that is called what is called videha mukti. So videha mukti. That means, so when for an enlightened person at the end of the life, when the physical body dies, so the physical body becomes the physical body is made up of 5 elements. It becomes one with the 5 elements, and the enlightened person becomes one with the existence, one with the infinity. That is called videha mukti.
Entonces llega un momento en el que el cuerpo físico va a morir y el espíritu va a salir de ese cuerpo físico, que sigue siendo una limitación para el cuerpo, para el espíritu, y ese acto de que como el espíritu, el alma iluminado, sale de un cuerpo físico, se llama videha murti. Entonces el cuerpo sigue siendo los 5 elementos y el espíritu se une con el espíritu universal.
Yeah, it's like a drop of water falls into the ocean. A drop of water falling into the ocean, and once it falls into the ocean, it becomes one with the ocean, infinity. So as a drop, it's still individual, but then when it falls into the ocean, it becomes one with the ocean. So that happens. That was what happens to the enlightened person after the body falls.
Entonces, cuando ese espíritu sale del cuerpo físico, sale como si fuera una gota de agua y se une al infinito, como una gota de agua se uniera al océano. Se mezcla con el espíritu universal y deja de tener esa individualidad. Cuando está en el cuerpo todavía tiene una cierta individualidad, que es la de estar en ese cuerpo físico, pero al unirse al espíritu universal pierde toda individualidad y se une con el espíritu.
Yeah. So this is what is called Videha Mukti. So Jivan Mukti is living liberated. Videha Mukti is for the same person, same individual, one who is enlightened. So leaving the body and becoming one with the existence is called Videha Mukti. So now.
Entonces, vivir dentro del cuerpo como un ser iluminado se llama Jivan Mukti, y ya cuando sale del cuerpo y se une al infinito es Videha Murti. And I have one question, one second. Una pregunta, por ejemplo, entonces, ¿cómo puede un maestro iluminado seguir conectándose con las personas aquí en la Tierra? And can, for example, an enlightened master be connected with like a disciple here? Because if when it dies, if it melts into the universe, how they can be connected with the disciples? Because sometimes they are they?
Yeah, there are some exceptions. There are some exceptions. So where the enlightened person is enlightened and there is no the person is not living in this physical body, but then is not completely merged with the universal existence. It's there in between. In between it is there. At the same time enlightened, but person still continue to exist for some more time as a light body, as a causal body, you can say, as a subtle body, so the body of light, you can say, the body of light and knowledge. So that person can connect with this, still can connect, because the person is not one with the existence yet, because able to maintain maybe with the yogic powers. There are some possibilities like that.
Entonces, él dice que hay muchos maestros, en excepciones, que con poderes yógicos consiguen dejar este cuerpo, pero no unirse al universo todavía y mantenerse en unos planos con el cuerpo de luz en el que pueden seguir conectando con sus discípulos aquí en la Tierra. Y eso lo hacen con poderes yógicos. Si no, se van. Ellos han trabajado, han conseguido la manera de, incluso cuando dejen el cuerpo, no irse completamente, sino mantenerse en dimensiones en las que pueden mantener su cuerpo de luz y pueden conectarse con seres en la Tierra. Wow.
Yeah. And also one more point here. So this enlightened person can also come back again and take birth again. Why? Because, but there is a contradiction. There is a seemingly contradiction. Because what makes us to take this body, this life is self-ignorance,
Yes.
Avidya. But then enlightened person means there is no avidya.
Yes.
For enlightened person there is no avidya. Then how come the enlightened person also takes birth again? That is because the person doesn't have karma, because the birth means ignorance and avidya and karma should be there. Karma should be there, because of the karma and karma pala only will take. But somebody else creates karma for this person to come back. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, es increíble. Entonces, él dice que incluso hay maestros ascendidos que pueden volver a agarrar un cuerpo físico. Pero lo que pasa es que para tener un cuerpo físico es obligatorio ese karma, tener karma, tener avidya también, ese olvido, ¿ok? Entonces, para que esos seres iluminados, como no tienen karma, ellos se liberaron del ciclo de samsara, ellos no tienen ningún karma. Entonces, para que puedan agarrar un cuerpo físico, alguien más tiene que pasarles un karma para que ellos puedan encarnar en un cuerpo físico. Wow.
Yeah. So, other people create karma. Other people they have to create karma. So, of course, good karma only, not bad karma. Good karma they create. So that good karma becomes as though vehicle for this person to take the birth, as though, it's like we create a dream world, we create a dream world. In the dream we create ourselves also, right? Wow. So that means it's a pure light. It's a pure light only, light and knowledge, So like this person takes the karma, the good karma of other people, and that becomes a vehicle for that person, and comes with this body and all to guide the people and to share the knowledge, etc.
Wow. Entonces, para que esa persona pueda encarnar en esta dimensión, en la Tierra, alguien más le va a crear un karma que por supuesto va a ser bueno. Entonces le va a crear un karma bueno, y ese karma bueno va a ser el vehículo de esa persona para poder encarnar en la Tierra, porque sin karma no puede volver a encarnar. Entonces alguien le va a crear ese karma positivo para que pueda encarnar.
Yeah. So, and taking this birth and guiding the people, sharing the knowledge sometime. So, and when that karma, that karma who created by other people, that karma, when that karma is over, then person goes back again.
Entonces ese ser va a venir aquí, va a ayudar a la gente, va a pasar conocimiento y luego se va a ir de nuevo. Voy a hacer una pregunta. Entonces, y esa persona puede crear karma estando aquí en la Tierra. So that person can create karma again, or is free of karma?
Free of karma.
Free of karma.
Cannot create karma. Yeah.
Okay. Está libre de karma. Ese ser iluminado no va a crear karma. Aunque haya venido gracias a un karma que le han traído, se va a ir libre de karma.
Yeah. So that person does not create karma because there is no ignorance, So individuality, identification with the body, mind, there is no ego. So there is no center. Center means ego. So centerless awareness. When there is no center, so no karma is acquired, good or bad. So it's only like you're just living in like a spontaneous living. That's it. There is no ego living.
Entonces, porque durante esa existencia no hay ego. Eso no es una existencia que tiene un centro creado como el ego, como la personalidad. No, está libre de todo eso, entonces no va a crear karma.
Yeah. So person doesn't create karma, and so lives for as long as the karma of the other people exists, and then afterwards goes. So this is also possible. Yeah, this is also there.
Entonces esa persona va a vivir tanto como dure el karma que le han pasado. Le han pasado un buen karma, y tanto como dure ese karma es lo que va a poder vivir ese ser iluminado en esta realidad. Wow.
Yeah. So this is what is called so enlightened person taking birth and guiding the people. Taking birth again and coming back to this plane and guiding the people. So this we have traditions like that. So we have the traditions, like some traditions we have like this, and some other traditions they believe that even the Bhagavan, Ishvara, Ishvara, God will come, God will incarnate and come. That's like instead of enlightened person coming back, so Ishvara, the universal consciousness, universal energy, takes the form and comes to guide the people. Like that we have.
Algunas tradiciones creen lo mismo que la tradición yógica, que es un ser iluminado que vuelve a encarnar. Otras creen que es el mismo Dios que encarna en un cuerpo físico. Voy a hacer una pregunta aquí. Aura, tus preguntas se las voy a hacer al final, un momentico. Y entonces, ¿hay alguna ley universal de que pueda venir cada cierto tiempo o puede venir cuando quiera? Is there any universal law that an enlightened person can come often or only every some time, or how is that?
No, it's depending on the situation. So yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. So that means whenever there is when there is a decay of the dharma, so people become so materialistic and dharma is not there, everywhere adharma. So that time, when the people are very so materialistic and so a lot of people are not following the dharma, So that time to set the things right, so the incarnations come. Yeah, you can say there is a universal law. So whenever the dharma is completely destroyed, so the incarnation comes.
So enlightened person comes.
Enlightened person also can come, or the Ishvara,
yeah.
Ishvara takes the reincarnation.
Yeah. Entonces, cuando las cosas están bastante mal, bastante fuera del Dharma, cuando hay mucho caos, entonces Ishvara, Dios o un ser iluminado, Dios a través de un ser iluminado viene a pasar el conocimiento.
Yeah. So enlightened person also can come because there should be karma. The karma is created by the people.
Yes.
For example, let us say, so a group of people, so they wanted their master to guide them. So what they do, they create karma on the person's name. They create karma, good karma. So by various practices are there. So with that, when the person, in this group of people, they create karma. So that karma under their intention, their intention, you can say the clamoring, intention under their prayers, under their various spiritual practices. So all with one intention that we want the master to guide. So that creates karma. So that karma becomes a vehicle, and the person, enlightened person, can take the birth and come.
Wow. So this is, for example, like Dalai Lama, for example.
Yeah. Same. Like all the people, they want the master back again to guide them. So they create the karma, and they do a lot of rituals, etc. So all these intentions, their good intentions, their prayers, so they becomes a karma, and then the Dalai Lama comes back again, enlightened.
Wow. And they have to wait, it grows a little bit up, 10, 15 years, so they can teach.
Yeah.
Wow, very incredible. Entonces, lo que hacen los discípulos cuando saben que el maestro se va a morir y quieren que el maestro vuelva, es hacer unas determinadas oraciones, unas prácticas específicas, esotéricas, que crean un karma positivo para que el maestro pueda salir de ese cuerpo y volver a encarnar. Por ejemplo, lo que pasa con el Dalai Lama, ¿no? Entonces, los discípulos van a hacer con la intención, con su propia intención, pero son prácticas específicas, van a crear un karma positivo para que el maestro pueda venir. Y tengo una pregunta aquí, porque hay algunas prácticas yógicas en el que un ser iluminado puede dejar este cuerpo y tomar otro directamente. But there is some yogic practices, some siddhis, where the master can leave the body and directly take a young body, yes? So this is easier, no?
That's another possibility. But that is not possible for everyone. It's like it's a special kind of thing. So they can leave the body and take another young body. It's a very special circumstances. It's not a regular thing. For that, there's a lot of siddhis. You have to practice so many years of tapas, and it's a different. Yeah, it's a special kind of thing.
Okay. Él dice que eso sí puede suceder, que eso podría llegar a suceder, que el maestro deja su cuerpo y agarra otro cuerpo que acaba de morir, y son unas específicas situaciones, esos son unos poderes yógicos, eso se consigue haciendo unas determinadas tipos de prácticas yógicas muy extremas, con muchísima disciplina, y el maestro tendría que prepararse muchos años para hacer eso específico, y eso se puede hacer bajo específicas condiciones, pero que sepa que esos son poderes que se pueden conseguir con las prácticas yógicas, ¿ok? Poder dejar el cuerpo físico a voluntad y tomar uno que acaba de morir, o sea, que el alma pase, el espíritu pase de un cuerpo a otro conscientemente. Wow.
Yeah. So, and when we say, whenever the dharma goes down and the spirituality is very low, in that condition, the Ishvara, so Ishvara takes birth and come back. So Ishvara, I don't want to call it God, because the God means there is a lot of negative, but Ishvara is not God. Ishvara is the universal consciousness, the universal consciousness, existence, universal energy, taking a form and coming back. Like we create a dream and a dream world, and we create our dream body. So Ishvara himself comes back. So comes back means takes birth and comes to teach, to guide, to restore the dharma, the spiritual order. Yeah.
Entonces, cuando el dharma se pierde, digamos, en esta realidad, cuando las cosas se ponen bien torcidas, entonces Ishvara, que es la energía universal, no quiere llamarlo Dios porque Dios tiene una connotación muy cargada, es Ishvara, es la conciencia universal, viene a un cuerpo físico para restaurar el orden, dar conocimiento y volver a poner todo en el camino del dharma.
Yeah. So that happens, time to time. Whenever there is a dharma is down. So to restore the spiritual laws of the universe, so that happens. So Krishna is considered to be Bhagavan Avatara, so coming back and restoring this dharma, So that happens time to time. It happens, but when the dharma is going on and the people are there to teach, the masters are there, so there is order, it goes on. But when this is very low, dharma is completely low, that time the big power, so the Ishvara himself or herself, because Ishvara is need not be male only, female also, the goddess, we have the goddess. Comes back and restore the dharma. Influence the people.
Is different the masters or when Ishvara comes in itself, like Krishna. That's the difference. Entonces es diferente cuando vienen los maestros, cuando hay maestros aquí para enseñar, o cuando el propio Ishvara toma un cuerpo, como pasó por ejemplo con Krishna. Cuando vino Krishna era el propio Ishvara en él mismo encarnando en un cuerpo físico. Es diferente a los maestros. Los maestros vienen a enseñar conocimiento, pero cuando viene como esa energía universal encarnada es otro nivel, como cuando vino Krishna.
So Ishvara himself takes reincarnates. Ishvara himself comes taking this body. So that is it's a big event, like the whole influencing the whole universe life, the whole life. It's a very big event. So if necessary, Ishvara himself comes, or enlightened people comes, enlightened masters come back again. Like that it goes on.
Entonces, unas veces van a venir maestros ascendidos, van a volver a encarnar para pasar el conocimiento, otras veces la propia conciencia universal va a encarnar en un cuerpo físico, es diferente, y son momentos diferentes.
Yeah. So this is, so now there is one more thing, one more topic in this, that is what is called Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti means, so we have discussed about Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. And Krama Mukti means, so Krama means gradual enlightenment. Gradual enlightenment. So let us say the person lives for some time, lives for a few years, let us say 60 years, for example. 60, 70 years or even 100 years lives. But then the person is not enlightened. But then has a lot of good karma. Person has done a lot of good karma, a lot of practices, a lot of meditation practices. So they're called upasanas. Upasanas, and lives a clean yogic life, good life, a lot of doing good to the other people. So the person gets a lot of punya. The punya? The punya, good karma. Because of the good karma, they gets a lot of punya, good merit.
Merits,
lot of good merit is there. At the same time, the person is not enlightened.
Yes.
So for that person, what happens? What happens to that person?
Entonces hay otra posibilidad, por ejemplo, cuando una persona viene a esta vida y hace mucha práctica, hace mucha sadhana y acumula mucho buen karma, hace una vida de entrega, entonces no consigue iluminarse, pero crea mucho buen karma. Entonces, ¿qué sucede en una persona así que no consigue iluminarse, pero que acumula muy buen karma durante la vida?
So because of the good karma, so good merit, punya, that person goes to the higher planes, higher planes, exalted planes. They're called lokas, different lokas.
Yeah.
Higher planes. There are higher planes within the universe. There is higher planes. So the person goes there because the person has got a very good karma. Good karma. Because of the good karma, so the person goes to the higher loka, so higher plane. There the person gets knowledge again. The person discovers the self there. There also we have to go study and meditate and inquiry, do the self-inquiry. Study means self-inquiry. The person has to do the self-inquiry, and of course there's a kind of atmosphere. Atmosphere is very conducive for spiritual inquiry, and meditation becomes easy, effortlessly easy. So there also the person has to do the self-inquiry and discover the self. Discover the self that I am Brahman, limitless existence. Then from there, the person gets enlightenment and becomes one with the Brahman. So,
but is not in this physical plane. Is in another. Is a physical plane or not?
it is a physical plane, but it's a different plane. It's a physical, but
So
at
it's
the, but the
not
same
this.
time, it's a
Is not in this reality. It's in another reality.
No, in this reality only, but in a different dimension. The same reality in this reality, but it's in a different dimension. Different dimension.
Yeah. Yes. Entonces, por ejemplo, esa persona lo que pasaría es que al encarnar, va a encarnar en una dimensión diferente, en esta realidad, pero en una dimensión diferente, en el que todo es muchísimo más fácil. Para él va a ser muchísimo, para ella va a ser muchísimo más fácil meditar, va a ser una vida de autoindagación en la que tiene que estudiar, tiene que autorrealizarse, tiene que hacer todo el camino, pero todo es mucho más fácil, mucho más fluido, porque ya va como en la recta final hacia la iluminación. Entonces ahí meditar es fácil, estudiar, comprender las cosas hasta que se autorrealiza también. Pero es en esta realidad, en otra dimensión.
Yeah. So it's we call it a higher loka, higher loka. But that loka is within the sphere of what is called Maya, within the sphere of Maya. So in the same reality, but in a different dimension, because until we discover the true self, we are still in the part of the samsara. That's also part of the samsara only. Even going to higher loka, still part of the samsara only. If you when you compare with the higher spiritual dimension, but within the samsara, there's a different dimension, higher. Where there is no bodily problems will not be there, psychological problems will not be there. A conducive atmosphere for the self-inquiry, and the disease, etc. will not be there. So there the person. So because of the good karma, the person has got a very good life, very wonderful life. But there also still individuality is still there.
Yes.
The sense of separation is there. Then that's why the person has to do self-inquiry, and taught by exalted masters again.
Yes.
So there also person has to get inquiry, then discovers the self, and then becomes one with the infinity.
So you mean, for example, like Swamy Dayanandaji, for example.
That is different.
Different.
No, that is different. That is within in this plane. That is
Okay.
But
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There are other planes. For example, I'll tell you. So there may be within this universe,
yes,
there can be another planetary system.
Yes.
Another planetary system where we cannot go. Nobody can go there. But the causal body, which I'm going to discuss later, the causal body can go there. The light body can, the body of light and the illumination can go there. So there, so let us say that the 1,000 light years away, there is another planet, another solar system. There is a planet there. So there, these people go there, and there are a conducive atmosphere like that.
Okay. Now I understand. Entonces, lo que él está hablando es otra dimensión, no en esta realidad. Yo le estaba preguntando de, por ejemplo, Swamy Dayanandaji, que fue un discípulo de un maestro que vino aquí y de bebé lo entregaron al ashram y él fue criado por un maestro ascendido. Pero no, él no está hablando de estar en esta dimensión, está hablando de otra dimensión. ¿Ok? En esta realidad hay diferentes dimensiones, pero es como si fuera otro planeta en el que no puede ir el cuerpo físico, solo puede ir el alma. Entonces, como si esa persona muere y su alma va a otra dimensión, a un planeta donde solo hay almas, y ahí va a seguir haciendo su desarrollo personal, va a seguir meditando, va a seguir estudiando hasta que se autorrealice. Pero no es en esta realidad, es en otra dimensión en la que no es un cuerpo físico, es un cuerpo casual. Y ahí también van esos seres a estudiar porque todavía no se han autorrealizado, pero ya están en otro nivel, ¿no? Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, Swamy Dayanandaji and other masters, they are all within this, but they are exalted because of the previous Janma, in the previous life, lot of practices, lot of spiritual practices, and lot of good karma. So because of that, so they come here. So very spiritually, highly spiritually matured, spiritual prodigies.
Yes.
So they pick up the thread and continue, So that is because of the previous life also, previous life practices and But this is even more. This is the person has done lot of good karma, May not have done lot of spiritual practices, but good karma is there.
Yes.
So because of the good karma, the next. So that's what is Krama Mukti. So yeah.
Entonces una persona como Swamy Dayanandaji, que es una persona, es un ser muy avanzado espiritualmente, cuando viene aquí y ya desde pequeño entra en una RAM con un maestro ascendido que le va a enseñar directamente, es una vida directamente fácil hacia la autorrealización, no quiere decir que sea fácil, pues eso es debido a que en una vida anterior ha creado muy buen karma, quizás por mucha práctica yógica, mucha práctica de generar buen karma, o simplemente porque tuvo una vida muy pura y generó mucho buen karma. Entonces, por eso en esta vida las cosas le vienen mucho más fáciles, ¿no? Hacia el autodescubrimiento, pero en este plano.
Yeah. But there is no much difference as far as the spirituality is concerned. So as far as the spirituality is concerned, there is no much difference whether we go to some other loka and get enlightenment there also you have to do self-inquiry, or in this life itself, so you discover, So spiritual, see, from the standpoint of the spirituality, there is no much difference. Because anywhere you have to discover the self, The only thing is because of the karma, good karma, the person goes to some other higher loka and gets the same thing you can do here. In fact, all the scriptures say that it's better you do here itself. It's better to do here itself because there is a problem in the higher loka. There is a problem that you may forget. You may forget to do self-inquiry because there whatever a lot of enjoyment. There is no difficulties. So you may forget in the higher lokas. It's better to do it here itself.
Entonces, él dice que aunque hay otros planos de existencia que se llaman lokas, superiores, en los que allí cuando ya vas es porque ya tienes muy buen karma, allí no hay enfermedades, no hay problemas, solamente es meditar y autorrealizarse, pero él dice que todo eso uno lo puede hacer en este plano. Entonces es mejor hacerlo en este plano porque él dice que como allá no hay dificultades, no hay problemas, puedes olvidarte que tengas pendientes y no hacerlas, entonces no autorrealizarte incluso en esos planos. Entonces que siempre es mejor trabajar en este plano lo máximo que uno pueda para limpiar esos karmas y generar puro buen karma.
Yeah, that is why in this plane, let us say in this as a human being, so it's easy to get enlightenment because so there is difficulties, sometimes lot of samsara, so everybody wants to get out of the samsara, So when there is no difficulty at all, everything is good, everything is fine, and no physical problem, no psychological problem, nothing, then you forget. Yes. You don't want to get it. You don't want to get out of this.
Yes.
Everything is fine, like heavenly kind of thing,
Yes. You are attached to this easiness, no? To this ease.
Yeah.
Ease is a big attachment. Happiness is more attachment than pain, because pain you want to live, but happiness creates attachment, ¿no?
Yes.
Él dice que esta vida es muy buena para autorrealizarse, porque aquí hay muchos problemas en esta realidad. Entonces, los problemas son los que nos van a ayudar a autorrealizarnos, a querer salir de ese sufrimiento. El problema es en esas dimensiones superiores en las que no hay ningún problema. Entonces, en esa falta de problemas, ahí es difícil querer salir de esa comodidad. La comodidad y la facilidad en la vida nos provoca dormirnos, no querer salir de esa facilidad. La incomodidad, los problemas son los que nos motivan a salir y a mejorar y a buscar soluciones.
Yeah. So that is why this plane is called a Bhuloka. You know, this plane where we are living. So this plane is called Bhuloka. So in this Bhuloka, we are taking birth as a human being, means there's a mix. You know, the mix of good and good karma, papa punya. So the papa punya mix is there. So sometime more papa. So more difficulties. So the samsara. When there is a difficulty, you know. So when there is a difficulties, then I want to get out of this. You know, you see, there is an effort to get out of this samsara. So that is why. So it's easy to get enlightenment in this plane. If you go to higher plane, there is identification with the sukha and all, and you may forget. You don't want to get out of this.
Yes.
And also in the lower loka, it's called adholoka. You know, there's adholoka, the lower planes. In the lower planes, there is no discernment that I want to get out of this. You know, because it's too low. So there is no discernment. There is no discernment there is no conscious awareness that I want to get out of this. You know, there also is not possible. So that's why a dog or cow may not get enlightenment in this as a dog or cow. It has to become human being. It has to become human being or more higher than the human being. So there only the enlightenment possible, so that we can get out of this something.
Yes. Esta dimensión, este loka en el que vivimos nosotros es uno de los mejores para autorrealizarse, porque los más bajos, los niveles más bajos de conciencia, incluso en el que ya no somos humanos, hay animales o plantas, no somos conscientes de querer salir de ahí. Y en los planos más elevados, los lokas más elevados, todo es tan perfecto, es como un Edén, que nos podemos llegar a olvidar muy fácilmente de querer salir de ahí, porque estamos en el Edén, no queremos salir de ahí, entonces ahí hay un apego de lo bueno. Entonces, en este plano, en el que hay tantas dificultades, es en el que más podemos tener ganas de salir de ese sufrimiento y más nos puede impulsar a querer autorrealizarnos. Entonces hay que aprovechar aquí y ahora en este plano en el que estamos. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah. So what happens, you know, in this plane, in the Bhuloka, so we have a mixture of punya papa. So good, you know, sukha, dukkha, the happiness and sorrow. We are sometimes happy and sometimes sorrow. You know, in this mixture only. So we strive to get out of this. You know, get out of this samsara.
Yes.
And get back to the original. So that's how we do. So.
Entonces, en esta realidad en el que existe la felicidad, el sufrimiento, a veces estamos tristes, a veces contentos, en toda esa mezcla de emociones es la que nos puede impulsar a querer salir de ese ciclo de sufrimiento. Si solo tuviéramos felicidad, probablemente no estaríamos buscando salir de eso. Y la felicidad también es una trampa, ¿no? Por decir. Entonces, es esta mezcla entre felicidad y tristeza, alegría, arriba y abajo el que nos va a hacer querer salir de ese ciclo de sufrimiento, felicidad, sufrimiento, felicidad.
Yeah. So, to summarize, so getting the breaking this cycle of samsara is our aim. Our aim is to break the cycle of samsara through knowledge, through self-knowledge. Self-discovery, self-inquiry. So this is our aim. This ultimate goal. This is the ultimate human goal. Moksha. Moksha is the ultimate human goal because knowingly or unknowingly we are all trying to get out of this samsara only.
Entonces, para resumir, nuestro objetivo vital es salir de ese ciclo del samsara, ¿ok? Autorrealizarnos, que somos el ser, y salir de este ciclo de samsara es nuestro objetivo final.
Yeah. So, knowingly or unknowingly, every living being in the whole universe, everybody is trying to get out of the cycle of samsara only because everybody wants happiness. Yes. Everybody wants happiness in all the places, in all the circumstances, in all the times. I want to be happy. That is the goal of everybody. That means what? Everybody wants to get out of this samsara only.
Entonces, todos los seres del universo lo que quieren es consciente o inconscientemente salir del ciclo del samsara. porque todos buscamos felicidad. Entonces, esa búsqueda de felicidad nos hace querer salir del sufrimiento y eso quiere decir romper el ciclo del samsara. Entonces, todos los seres conscientes o inconscientes lo están buscando.
So, seeking happiness is the right thing to do. You know, seeking happiness, because that's our nature. That is our true nature. Sat Chit Ananda. Infinite existence, infinite knowledge, and infinite bliss. That is our true nature. And that's why everybody is trying to get back to the self, and everybody is seeking happiness. So seeking happiness is the right thing to do, but the path, the way the one is choosing is maybe different. So correctly, you have to choose the path.
Yes.
If you choose the path of materialism, then a lot of samsara, again, perpetuation into samsara. You know. So that is why the right path. So choosing happiness is a good thing to do, but then rightly you have to choose. Properly you have to choose. Otherwise you will get back to the samsara again and again and again too.
Yes.
You will not be able to get out of this. Yeah.
Entonces, todos estamos buscando la felicidad. Eso es lo correcto hacer. Hay que buscar la felicidad porque eso es lo que somos. Nuestra naturaleza divina es felicidad. Entonces, al buscar la felicidad, vamos a buscar y conseguir nuestra naturaleza divina. La cosa es conseguir el camino preciso para llegar a esa felicidad. Ese es el principal problema, y es que a veces vamos a buscar caminos errados para conseguir esa felicidad. Y el problema es que nos vuelve a atraer y atraer y atraer y a continuar en ese ciclo de samsara. Entonces tenemos que discernir muy claramente cuál es ese camino que nosotros vamos a elegir para llegar a esa felicidad.
So in the process of getting out of this cycle of samsara, so main thing is knowledge, self-inquiry, because the very problem is ignorance. The very problem is avidya, ignorance. You know, that's the original problem. It's a cognitive problem. The problem is cognition. You know, that is why knowing is very important. Knowing who am I, what am I, who am I, what am I, why I am here. That is very important. And of course, other things also important, other sadhanas and all, everything is important, because I told you before, you know, self-ignorance causes conditionings, you know, the parallel reality. So because of the parallel reality, we need Hatha Yoga, we need Mantra Yoga, we need Raja Yoga, we need, you know, Karma Yoga. So because of the whole, we have to restructure and deconstruct everything and recondition ourselves. So that is why all other is important. Finally, knowing myself, who am I, what am I, that liberates.
Entonces, tenemos que salir de ese ciclo de samsara, y eso lo vamos a hacer a través del conocimiento. El conocimiento es lo que nos va a liberar. El conocimiento de quién soy yo, qué hago aquí, cuál es mi razón de estar aquí, cuál es mi naturaleza. Ese conocimiento es el que nos va a liberar de esos ciclos del samsara, para salir de la ignorancia. Entonces eso nos va a ayudar el karma yoga, el jnana yoga, el yoga de la meditación. Todas esas prácticas nos van a llevar al autoconocimiento y a descubrir quiénes somos, y eso nos va a liberar y nos va a hacer salir del ciclo de samsara.
Yeah. So finally, so through knowledge, so we can break this cycle of samsara. And this is the ultimate goal. This is the ultimate goal. You know, whether in this plane, bhuloka, or you go to higher plane, higher existence, higher planes, higher lokas. So finally, you have to know yourself, because the problem is self-ignorance. And this is what is called it's a re-evolution. It's called a re-evolution. You know. So it's not evolution. It's not evolution. It's a re-evolution. Because there is a devolution, you know, there is a devolution from the higher plane, higher reality. Because of self-ignorance, I am involution. Involution, we don't say, we should de-evolution. So devolution is there. So again, you come back to re-evolve back to the original reality.
Entonces, eso es lo más importante de buscar y de conseguir, el conocimiento, el autoconocimiento, porque si no vamos a volver en ese ciclo de involución, o de devolución, como él dice, que no es una evolución porque estamos yendo desde el conocimiento, el ser lo más evolucionado que hay, hacia abajo. Entonces tenemos que salir para reevolucionar, para volver a nuestro origen, a lo que somos realmente.
So this journey is a re-evolution. It's a re-evolution. So that is why. So this model does not negate the Darwinian evolution. So Darwinian evolution is fine, but it's incomplete. For us, Darwin evolution is there, but it's incomplete. The model is incomplete. The evolution is there, very much the evolution is there, but who is evolving? Who is evolving? Darwin evolution talks about only biological evolution. But then you are not a biological entity, you are a spiritual entity, you are a spiritual being with incidental body, biological body. Physical or psychological body, psychological body, biological body. So that means it's a evolution, but a re-evolution. It's a re-evolution. You are getting back to the original.
Entonces, en el yoga se puede decir que lo que nosotros vivimos es una reevolución, porque el yoga reconoce la teoría de Darwin como cierta, pero no está completa, está incompleta, porque Darwin solo considera la parte biológica y nosotros somos mucho más que biología, somos un espíritu en un cuerpo físico. Entonces, sí está bien, esa parte biológica evolucionó, pero hay una parte espiritual que es la que está reevolucionando cada vez que viene en ese ciclo.
So one more thing to remember here, very important point, that there is no devolution or evolution for the original self, pure consciousness. The pure consciousness, Brahman, for that there is no, it cannot be, de-evolution is not possible for that. Evolution also is not possible for that because it's a perfect. So there is no evolution or devolution for the original self, the real self, the infinity. Only thing is, evolution and devolution is only for the body, mind, identified ego, the false sense of self. So that is because of the ignorance or cosmic illusion, Maya. Because of the cosmic veil, cosmic illusion, there is an entity is created, a reflective consciousness is created, a false sense of self is created. For that false sense of self only, all the devolution and evolution, everything is for that only. Not the original self. For that, it's a beyond all the evolution and devolution. It's a beyond the order of reality, beyond all the three orders of reality. That is beyond all the lokas, beyond everything. For that, there is no. That is your true self. Yeah.
Entonces es muy importante recordar que para el ser no hay ni evolución ni involución. El ser se mantiene observador en todo este viaje. Lo único que involuciona o reevoluciona es el ser, la mente, la identificación. Es el falso yo, el que involuciona y vuelve a reevolucionar para autodescubrir que es el ser. Pero el ser, Ishvara, no evoluciona ni involuciona ni le sucede nada. Se mantiene intacto.
Yeah. So that universal consciousness, Brahman, is always present in all the states, all throughout the samsara. That is present. Either in a human being, that is the same self, same consciousness. Even an animal or an animal dog, in the trees, even in the trees, they are also same. That is untouched by all the samsara. No samsara for that self, real self, one consciousness. And even if the person goes to the higher lokas, the higher planes, there also the same consciousness, untouched by the samsara, the same. That is one. That will not change. There is no evolution for that. That is your true self, and that is one, in undivided, indivisible, pure consciousness.
Entonces el ser solo está presente durante todas las etapas que viva, que durante ese viaje de esa existencia, en todas, ya sea una piedra, una flor, un elefante o un ser humano, en todas está el mismo la misma energía universal observando todo el proceso, intocable, no se modifica, esto es súper importante, no cambia, inmutable en todo ese proceso, en todos los samsaras, en todas las vueltas de samsaras que haya hecho esa experiencia, esa existencia, el ser no evoluciona, no le pasa nada, está intacto observando, es todo el resto lo que se va modificando, pero el ser está intacto.
Yeah. So that Brahman, that universal consciousness is ever present in all the states, in all the lokas, in everywhere. So that's the what is called that which is very fundamental. That which is very fundamental cannot be different from you, and it will not change. It is unchanging, untouched by samsara. So that is the Brahman. That is everything.
Entonces, esa parte, eso es muy importante, es súper básico, porque esa parte que no cambia, eso es lo que tú eres y lo que yo soy, lo que somos, ¿ok? Esa parte que no cambia durante cualquier ciclo es nuestra naturaleza.
It's like one example I'll give you. There's a ocean. I mean, there's a water. What is there is only water. In this water, so there is we call it a ocean. And there are waves, big waves, small waves, and breakers, and all different everything. We can different types of waves are there. Different names are given. Different forms are there. And the different like we give the names of the ocean. Different oceans are there. Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean, etc., etc. But then that's all we can say is all samsara. It's all samsara. But then fundamentally, basically, what is there is only water. The water color is different. Maybe color is different. Water is cold. Some area cold. Some areas is hot. Not hot, warm. And some places, water color may be different. But what is there fundamentally is water. That is Brahman.
Yes. Entonces, un ejemplo es como si Brahman fuera el agua del mar. El agua del mar es Brahman y ahí suceden todo tipo de cosas. Hay olas grandes, pequeñas, hay espuma, hay ondas, choca contra las rocas, hay diferentes colores del agua, diferentes salinidades, diferentes temperaturas. Todo eso son los ciclos de samsara, pero al final lo que hay es agua de mar y eso es Brahman. Y eso no cambia el agua, el agua en sí sigue siendo el agua, ya sea en ola, en onda, tranquilo, se mantiene, entonces eso es el Brahman, lo que no cambia.
Yeah. So this is what is cycle of samsara. So that's why I put here, you see, this is green. The green is Brahman. So the green is there, that ever-present consciousness is there in all the states. In the higher loka, lower loka, even rebirth, etc. So I just put the line there, green line. And green is pure consciousness, Brahman. That is.
Entonces, en toda esa gráfica hay una parte verde que él ha seguido toda la línea y eso es Brahman. El verde es el Brahman y se mantiene durante todos los ciclos, siempre está presente.
Yeah. So, now, we will discuss about what is the upadhi, So, we have upadhi, we have the body. So, we have the bodies. Actually, we have 3 bodies. According to Yoga Vedanta, so we have 3 bodies. It's called upadhi. Upadhi means this limited adjunct. This limited adjunct. So this is called upadhi. So this upadhi, upadhi we can translate as a body. Body. So we have the 3 bodies. So the 3 bodies are physical body, the tangible body, the physical body. And we have the subtle body. The subtle body is the mind and the senses and the pranas, the prana. That's called subtle body. And we also have the what is called causal body. The causal body, we can say, is a soul. The causal body, soul, you can translate as a soul. So these 3 bodies, we have these 3 bodies. And the nature of these 3 bodies and what is the function of these 3 bodies and what the body these 3 bodies are made up of. So this is the next topic. So maybe we can start in the next class, because again it's a new topic.
Yes.
A new topic. So we'll discuss this. And we in this all the nature of the mind, how the error, the error that the avidya error, ignorance created, and the false sense of self is created, and all this samsara. What is called samsara? The samsara created. How the
Yes,
samsara
the moment of confusion.
the moment of confusion, and the confusion is how the reinforcing of this confusion happens, day to day life. So all these things we will discuss. I think it's a different topic, so that we can do the next class. We do. So now, is there any questions?
Yes, I will translate this. One moment. Entonces, el próximo jueves, viernes para él, vamos a hablar del cuerpo físico. El cuerpo físico, este cuerpo, tiene 3 cuerpos. Es el cuerpo físico mismo, el cuerpo material, el cuerpo mental y el cuerpo casual, que se podría decir que es el alma. Entonces, él va a explicar todo esto en la próxima sesión, y va a hablar de cómo se crea la ilusión, el olvido en la mente, cómo sucede la confusión de olvidarse de quiénes somos. Entonces, hay 2 preguntas que hizo Aure. Voy a leerlas primero en español, luego se las paso. There is 2 questions, one moment. I will say in Spanish after in English. Entonces, la primera pregunta es, ¿cómo sabré que con mis prácticas ya logré romper los condicionamientos? Aura, she's asking how she will know that with her practices she will start to break the conditionings. How you realize that you are breaking conditionings?
So first we have to know what you are practicing.
Yes.
First thing is you have to know what you are practicing, and also when you are breaking the conditioning, you yourself will know that. So I'm not so much worried by the world, external world, So you become more composed oneself. You are a cycle. There is a lot of changes within you, So a lot of changes within you you can see for yourself. You become by external circumstances are not disturbing you much. So you are not very reactive. You are not very reactive. You are very mindful. You are for a very small thing is not disturbing you. So you see, it's people around also can notice that. People around also can notice, and you are not given to the emotions. You are not reactive. You're only acting. You're only responding to situations. And you can see for yourself. You're not so much. At one point, a given thing may be a big for you. Like, oh my God, without this, I cannot live without this. It is so. But then now, okay, it's okay, fine. I can be happy still. So all the psychological changes within you can see for yourself.
Yes.
You are more composed now. You are more calm and quiet now. So this is how you are breaking the cycle.
La manera de saberlo es que tú te vas cambiando, te vas transformando. Estás mucho más tranquilo o tranquila, menos reactivo. Sobre todo es la parte de reaccionar. Comienzas a responder a las cosas, no a reaccionar. Estás menos... reaccionas menos emocionalmente, estás mucho más tranquilo internamente, la gente se da cuenta, o sea, tú notas en ti mismo muchísimo más tranquilidad, menos reacción, menos implicación emocional, mental, todo se ve más tranquilo, más despacio, está mucho más calmado, mucho más tranquilo. Esa es la forma de saber que estamos rompiendo condicionamientos, ya no nos dejamos influenciar por tantas cosas externas que suceden. Nosotros decidimos más cómo respondemos en vez de reaccionar. Y hay otra pregunta que ella pregunta. Yes, okay.
So that means what? You have more emotional intelligence. So you have more emotional intelligence. That means I'm able to understand my emotions of the others, and I'm able to calmly, quietly. Calm. I'm able to respond to that, and I have more spiritual intelligence also. More and more spiritually, I'm becoming intelligent. Because I know that there is something beyond the body, beyond my physical body. There is something beyond. I'm able to heal myself. I'm able to forgive the people. I'm able to forgive the people. I'm able to understand the people. So all this is it's an indication that you are going in the right path, and you are able to decondition yourself.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Entonces hay más inteligencia emocional, más inteligencia espiritual, eres capaz de perdonar a otros, de comprender a otros, de comprender perfectamente que hay mucho más que lo que tú pensabas que eras, eres capaz de comprender que eres, aunque sea comprenderlo espiritualmente, que eres el ser, y empiezas a comprender cosas más complejas, ¿no? Y a comprender a los demás y tener más compasión. Entonces, hay otra pregunta que ella pregunta así, you want to say something else?
Yeah. So previous question. So when you sit for meditation, so you are able to drop everything. The whole external world is dropped. You don't remember. The other things won't come in the mind. So you are able to drop the whole body and the external world, and you are able to meditate. That is the indication that you are able to break the conditionings more.
Okay.
Otherwise, when I sit for meditation, also everything is comes in the mind. Okay, this person did something, said something, and this one. That means, so it's still. But if you are able to drop everything, and able to sit, and able to focus and meditate your mantra or whatever, any meditation. So that is the indication that you are able to. You are slowly breaking conditionings, deconditioning.
Yes. Entonces, por ejemplo, en la meditación tú lo puedes saber porque cuando te sientas a meditar eres capaz de soltar incluso el cuerpo, soltar todos los pensamientos. No hay tanto ruido mental cuando consigues soltar esos condicionamientos. Es mucho más fácil sentarse a meditar desde la tranquilidad y dejar ir todo, porque ya no están esos condicionamientos. Entonces, en la meditación puedes ir viendo cómo va yendo tu evolución. Cuanto más ruido y más cosas tengas en la cabeza, más condicionado estás. En la meditación se siente muy fácil, ¿no? Y hay otra pregunta que hace Aura, que es que si él conoce a alguna persona iluminada. And she's asking also if you know any enlightened person now. Maybe your master already died, not passed away. But now, in this moment, do you know anyone enlightened?
Well, there are many enlightened people, but we may not be aware of them. Because no enlightened person will ever say that I am enlightened. Only through their teachings and their life only we will come to know. So, like popularly, like Dalai Lama is considered to be enlightened, and Amma, there's Amma is there from south. Amma is considered to be enlightened. So, like that, people are there. So, those who are going around and teaching, etc. Yes. But there are many people not even popular. They are quietly teaching something, and we may not even know them. So, like that, there are always, always in all the cultures, in all the traditions, there are people, because this is a continuous process, But the only thing we may not be able to know. So they may not be popular. But then when you go there and when you listen to them, and so that you can connect with them, in level you can connect with them. So that way, yeah.
Yes. Él dice que hay mucha gente iluminada, muchísima gente iluminada, que ni siquiera, o sea, que una persona iluminada no va a decir que está iluminada, lo van a saber los seres alrededor de él por su conocimiento, por lo que comparte, por sus enseñanzas, pero que, por ejemplo, seres pues como el Dalai Lama o Amma, una señora del sur de la India, ella esos seres van enseñando alrededor del mundo o mismo en su lugar, y la gente sabe que están iluminados, pero asimismo en cualquier cultura hay muchísimos seres iluminados que pues la gente no sabe que están iluminados, pero puede sentirlo cuando están cerca. Hay algo diferente en esa persona, sus enseñanzas, su claridad, entonces así sabemos que esas personas están iluminadas.
Yeah, when you listen to them, their teachings, if you are not able to stay with them, but when you listen to them, so you can connect. You can connect to yourself. That is means okay, this person is enlightened.
Yes. Entonces, que aunque no sepas, cuando te acercas y escuchas sus enseñanzas, conecta con tu ser. Entonces ahí vas a saber que esa persona está iluminada. Very good. Very good, Keshava. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Amazing, thank you so much, and we continue very happy the next day to explore the mind and explore the different bodies and see,
yes,
explore our nature. Is
okay,
our fight.
Yes.
Entonces seguimos el próximo día. Aprovechen esta oportunidad para conocer su naturaleza. Esta es una oportunidad increíble, de verdad les digo. Aprovechen, el próximo día vamos a explorar el cuerpo humano y el origen, la naturaleza de la mente. Entonces ahí les esperamos para más autoconocimiento tan necesario en estos días. Muchísimas gracias y nos vemos pronto.